Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fluent Start, and welcome back to Season 2. Today, we're going to talk about something that feels small, but actually very important in real conversations. Awkward silence. That moment when everything just stops. No one is talking, you don't know what to say, and suddenly it feels uncomfortable. Maybe you've experienced this. You're talking to someone in English, everything is going okay, and then suddenly there's a pause, a long pause, and your mind goes blank. You start thinking, what should I say next? Is this awkward? Should I say something or just stay quiet? And the more you think, the more uncomfortable it feels. But here's the truth. Silence is not the problem. Your reaction to silence is the problem. Because in real conversations, silence is normal. Even native speakers have pauses. Moments where no one talks, moments where people think, moments where the conversation slows down. And that's okay. But as learners, we often panic. We think silence means we failed. We think we need to fill every second with words. And that pressure makes it worse. So the first thing I want you to understand is this. Silence is not your enemy. It's part of communication.
Now the question is, what can you do when silence happens? One simple thing is, don't freeze. Stay active. Even if you don't have a perfect sentence, you can say something small. For example, so, yeah, These are very simple, but they keep the conversation alive. They show that you're still engaged. Another thing you can do is ask a question. Questions are powerful because they move the conversation forward. If you don't know what to say, just ask something simple. How about you? What do you think? Have you experienced that? Now the focus moves to the other person, and the conversation continues. You don't need something complicated. Simple is enough. Another technique is commenting on the situation. You can say something like, "This place is really nice. It's quite quiet today. That was interesting." These small comments can restart a conversation. They create a new direction, and suddenly you're not stuck anymore. I also think it's helpful to connect to the previous topic. If you were talking about something before the silence, you can go back to it. For example, you mentioned earlier that you like traveling. Where was your favorite place? Now the conversation continues naturally, and it doesn't feel forced. Another important thing is your mindset. Don't see silence as something embarrassing. See it as a moment to think. A moment to breathe. A moment to reset the conversation. Because when you feel calm, your ideas come back. But when you panic, your brain blocks everything. So instead of thinking, "This is awkward," try thinking, "This is normal." That small shift changes how you feel. And when you feel more relaxed, you respond better. I also want to say this. You don't always need to fill the silence. Sometimes a short pause is okay, natural even. The goal is not to talk nonstop. The goal is to keep the conversation comfortable. And comfort doesn't mean constant talking. It means balance. Talking, listening, pausing, all together. Another helpful habit is practicing conversation bridges. These are simple phrases that help you move from one idea to another. For example, "By the way, that reminds me." Speaking of that, these phrases help you continue talking, even when the topic is changing. So when silence starts to appear, you already have a tool to continue. I think many learners struggle with awkward silence not because they don't know English, but because they don't know how conversations flow. And that's something you learn from experience, from practice, from real interaction. So don't be afraid of those moments. They are part of your learning. They help you grow. Anyway, if next time you feel that silence coming, don't panic. Just breathe. Say something simple. Ask a question. Or even just smile. Because communication is not about being perfect. It's about being present. And that's more than enough. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope this episode helps you feel more relaxed in conversations, even in those quiet moments. Thank you for listening to Fluent Start. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.